She said, "My ex is coming to stay for a week. If you're insecure, sleep at a hotel." I packed without a word and went to the hotel. While there, I emailed her landlord that I was breaking the lease. I'd been with Brooke for 2 years. We moved into her apartment about 10 months in, but I was the one who took over the lease when her old roommate left. My name was on the paperwork. My credit got run. My deposit, my first month, my renter's insurance. Brooke covered half the rent each month, and that was our deal. She called it our place. Legally, it was mine. Everything was fine until her ex, Jordan, came back. He moved to another state about a year before I met Brooke. She told me early on that they ended on good terms, that he was part of her past, and that I had nothing to worry about. I believed her. Then about 3 weeks ago, Brooke sat me down after dinner and told me Jordan was going through a rough time. Lost his job, broke his lease, needed somewhere to land while he figured things out. She said he'd asked if he could stay with her for a week, maybe 2, just until he got on his feet. I stared at her for a long time. Stay here? In our apartment? It's not a big deal. He'd sleep on the couch. We're just friends now. He's your ex-boyfriend. And that was years ago. We've both moved on. I'm with you. I told her I wasn't comfortable with it. I said it clearly. Didn't raise my voice. Didn't make threats. I just told her I didn't want her ex-boyfriend sleeping in our apartment. She rolled her eyes. Literally rolled her eyes at me while I was talking. You're being ridiculous. He has nowhere else to go. He has family. He has other friends. He doesn't need to sleep in the apartment I pay half the lease on. You're making this about you. It is about me. I live here. That's when she said it. She crossed her arms and looked at me like I was a child and said, "My ex is coming to stay for a week. If you're insecure about it, go sleep at a hotel." I sat there for about 10 seconds. I didn't argue. I didn't yell. I got up, went to the bedroom, and started packing a bag. She followed me. "What are you doing?" "Packing." "You're seriously going to a hotel?" "You told me to." I didn't mean it like that. I was making a point. So was I. I packed enough for a week. Toiletries, work clothes, my laptop, my charger. She stood in the doorway watching me with her arms still crossed, waiting for me to stop and apologize. I didn't. I zipped my bag, grabbed my keys, and walked past her. "You're being dramatic," she said as I reached the front door. I didn't answer. I got in my car and drove to a hotel about 15 minutes away. Not a nice one. Just a clean room with a bed and a desk. I sat on the edge of the mattress and pulled out my phone. First thing I did was open my email and pull up my lease agreement. I reread the early termination clause. 30 days written notice, forfeiture of deposit, and a small penalty fee. I did the math. It would cost me about $2,200 total to break it. I sat with that number for about 5 minutes. Then I typed up a formal notice to the landlord, attached it to an email, and hit send. Breaking the lease effective in 30 days. Done. The next morning, I called the utility companies. Electric, internet, renter's insurance. I gave them all the same date, 30 days. Cancel everything. By noon, every account tied to that apartment was on a shutdown timer, and Brooke didn't know about any of it. She texted me that afternoon. "Are you coming home tonight? Jordan gets here tomorrow." I read it. I didn't respond. She texted again 2 hours later. "I hope you know you're embarrassing yourself." I read that one too. Then I put my phone on the nightstand and went to sleep. 5 days went by. Brooke called me on day 3, but I let it go to voicemail. She left a message saying Jordan was there and everything was fine and I was welcome to come back whenever I was done being petty. I saved the voicemail and went back to work. On day 6, the landlord sent Brooke a letter. I know because she called me in a panic. Why did I just get a letter saying the lease is being terminated? Because I terminated it. You what? You can't do that. My name is on the lease, not yours. I gave 30 days notice. Where am I supposed to go? That's not really my problem anymore. You told me to leave, so I left. Her voice got high and shaky. I didn't tell you to break the lease. I told you to give Jordan some space for a week, and I gave you all the space you need, permanently. She went quiet. I could hear Jordan's voice in the background asking what was going on. She muffled the phone and whispered something to him. Then she came back. "Can we talk about this in person? Please? There's nothing to talk about. You invited your ex into my apartment and told me to go sleep at a hotel. I went to the hotel. Now I'm ending the lease. Everything lines up." She called 4 more times that week. I didn't pick up a single one.